The Agent David O. Show.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the show, and really excited about today. We've got my good friend here, guest Chad Harris out of Ohio, and we're talking about the topic of never using your own money to buy deals again. Welcome to the show, Chad. Pleasure to have you on.
Thanks, David. Always good to be here. Always good to talk with you, man. Enjoy it. So, looking
Awesome.
forward to the discussion.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this topic, and this is Chad's been in the raising private money world for many, many years now. Has had a lot of success of not using his own money, using OPM, other people's money to fund deals and build his own rental empire and wealth for his family. And Chad, we want to kind of f figure out like how did you stumble into this idea of using other people's money and where did this all start?
Yeah, for sure. So, stumble is the right word. That's a good descriptor of
Yeah.
it. So, my background was in ministry. And so, my family, we were missionaries in Kenya for 4 years. And before that, I was a high school English teacher. And so I had to raise money for the ministry in Kenya. I had no idea how to raise money, but when I signed on for the work in Kenya, they gave me my budget and they said, you need to raise $500,000 so that you can go over there and do the work for 4 years. I made 20,000 a year. I had no idea how to raise a half a million
A tall
dollars.
task.
Yeah. So I went out and it took a few years, trial and error, finally raised the money, went over there. And then in the third year, we came back for about 3 weeks for a wedding, and I raised another $500,000 in those 3 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
So I had nailed down how to raise money. So at the end of 4 years, we came back, and my youngest son was born, and he had some health issues, and he couldn't fly. He couldn't live in the remote location that we were living in. And all of a sudden, like I had to figure some things out fast, right? I didn't have a house to live in. We couldn't return to the job, so I knew my job was ending. We were staying in a house that was provided by a supporting church. The car we were using was provided by one of our supporters. And it was nerve-wracking because I didn't know how to make ends meet, but it really internally, it was that I felt like my family deserved more, that I wasn't providing for my kids. And as a father, that's just a miserable place to be, right? If anybody listening is in that situation or has felt that, you're back against the wall and you need to provide more. Maybe there's somebody you have in mind that deserves more than what you're currently providing. It's not a fun place. So I went out. That's when I decided I was going into real estate. I was going to provide more no matter what I had to do. And I went out and I started telling people I'm buying real estate, I'm buying rentals. Now, keep in mind, I had no money. I was a missionary. I hardly made anything. I didn't have savings. I really had no way to buy rentals, but I was more casting a vision for myself. But
Yeah.
over and over, people would say, oh, that's great. I always wanted to buy a rental property, or I almost bought one 10 years ago. I wish I did. It's worth so much more now. Or I love watching those HGTV shows. And it was like this light bulb moment where, hey, I can help them do what they want, get involved in real estate. It'll just be as a lender, and then I can buy the rentals that I want and use the same skills I learned in ministry and quickly bought our first 25 with private money and then started to add some seller financing. Didn't get our first bank loan until 55 doors.
Wow.
Cash out refinance. Still have never used a bank for the purchase of a property.
That's
So.
amazing.
Yeah, yeah, the
Yeah.
system works. And the greatest thing is when you talk to a private lender and you give them the opportunity to be in your real estate deal, they give you the money for the deal and then they say, thank you for letting me be in your deal, right? It's a really good situation.
Oh, that's
I've
awesome.
never had a bank thank me, right?
Yeah.
The whole concept doesn't work with a bank.
No, no, it sure doesn't. So if I understand this correctly, you were raising money for the missionary, which was purely donation, right? So the $500,000, like nobody was getting a return on this money, right?
Correct.
They
That
were
was
just
pure
donating for the
donation.
cause. So you cut your teeth on probably the hardest sell is getting people just
Right.
to
You'll never
fork
get this
over,
money back.
just fork over your money. And now
Yeah.
I assume it may have been even easier for you to say, hey, let me give you a return on this money and let me give you all your money back when I refinance this deal. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
I never thought about which one was easier. Maybe it
yeah,
was. Yeah.
yeah, maybe.
But in reality, I saw the pitch as exactly the same for both.
Yeah,
So the pitch is always, it just comes down to opportunity and impact, right? So when I was talking to a church or an individual for ministry, I said, you're probably never going to go to Kenya. You're never going to travel to this remote location and be able to work in another tribal language, but I can help you be involved in this work there. I'm going to give you the chance to have an impact there. And you're going to not only impact all these families and kids who need safe water in Kenya, but you're going to impact your family here and your church here because of the work you're doing and the work you're a part of, right?
yeah, that's
They
awesome.
had nothing to do with me at all.
Wow.
Same with private money, the exact
Yeah,
same pitch, right? You want to buy real estate, but you probably never will. Real estate is can be complicated. You got to wear a bunch of hats. You got to run a bunch of numbers. It involves
yeah,
different things. I'm going to give you the chance to be in real estate right now, very simply. I'll run the numbers. I'll deal with the tenants and toilets. You can just get a consistent return on your money backed by real estate. And it's going to help your bank account. It's going to help your retirement. It's going to have this great impact, right? So as long as I have an opportunity that they want to get involved in and it's really going to impact them and help them, it's the same pitch.
yeah,
So yeah, whether they're going to get the money back or not, right?
yeah,
They're after the that opportunity and impact. Yeah.
yeah. That's awesome. That's cool. So you're really taking yourself out of it and like, what value is this going to bring to them? And you're really speaking to kind of their goals and their vision. And like you said, so many people are wanting to invest in real estate and people don't know how, they don't have the time. And you're giving them the opportunity to kind of invest in that vehicle that's not really readily accessible. There's, one of the things I looked at when I was trying to retire from my corporate job is I would talk to my financial advisors and like none of them could get me invested in real estate. That's totally, oh, this is where everybody goes is Wall Street and the stock market and mutual funds and IRA, 401ks and all. You can't get into real estate. We don't do that. It's
Yeah.
like, but
Yeah.
that's where all the wealth is. It's like,
That's right.
it's like, yeah. So I love that. So you're giving people an option to get into it and not have all the risks of being the sole owner and operator and property manager of said
Right.
property.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
And I
that.
remember I was meeting with a potential lender. I didn't know it at the time, but real early on, I had this guy in my church, and I was telling everybody I was buying real estate. He came up to me, he was like, "Hey, I hear you're buying real estate, right?" I don't know. Maybe I had a couple doors at the time, but I was really new.
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, I want some advice on this 4 unit I'm buying." Great. I'm glad to help, right? I'll help whoever needs it. So we met, we were running the numbers. I was going through everything. We got to the bottom. I was like, in the end, if everything goes perfectly right with this 4 unit, you're going to get 10% on your money. He's like, yeah, yeah. I was like, is that what you're after? 10%, you're willing to do all this for 10%? He was like, yeah. I said, how about you lend me the money and I'll pay you 10%. I'll
Yeah.
be the one that deals with the tenants and
Yeah.
toilets and everything else. He was like, done. Let's do
Let's
that.
do that.
You know, easy. So,
Yeah. Wow, ain't that the truth? So yeah, I think you're going to be able to help a lot of our listeners. So we've got a lot of agents that listen to this, and you know, most agents don't have 20% down payments sitting around, for
Yeah.
a rainy day to start investing in real estate. So they would really benefit from, hey, working with somebody that's got some financial funds already and wants to get into real estate, and they can kind of be that gateway to help them get 10% on their money and meanwhile build up their own investment portfolio and rentals for a real chance at retirement, which I've never been to a retirement party for a realtor. I think that they don't exist, but we're trying to change that because we're trying to get them into investing, and they're going to need money to invest. So, as a new agent or somebody that's not invested right now, agents talk to a lot of people about buying and selling houses, and a lot of those people probably don't ever think about buying an investment property because of the things you talked about, but investing with somebody that can. So how can they leverage their influence and sphere to start getting some of these opportunities?
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for a realtor because your best everyday private lender is not in the real estate space, right? And most realtors are out in the community talking to other people, right? And able to leverage those relationships for the real estate. So there's three main ways you can easily find those people in your circle. One is your introduction, just how you enter a room, how you respond to people. You want to make sure they know they can be involved in your business. So, very simply, I recommend everybody introduce themselves, why they do what they do, what exactly they do, and how others can play a part, right? So, for me, I love improving my community. I buy beat up houses, rent them to great families, and I share the profits with friends, family, and people I know. Super simple. I can say that 100 times in a day, right? Just every interaction. And every now and then somebody says, interesting. How do I share in the profits, right? I want to
Yeah.
be one of those friends, family, and people you know.
Yeah.
That's all it takes.
Nice.
Additionally, you can set meetings and be very intentional about building those relationships and presenting that opportunity to find out who is interested, or it's just leveraging social media, right? A lot of realtors are good at social media and getting the word out about what they do. And the best post you can do for a private lender is more of a hero post where you're recording what you're doing in that day, but your lender is the hero of the story. Okay, so could be we bought this house, we just rented it, tenants moving in soon, and our lender is getting a great return on their money. Okay.
Awesome.
You're not, when you're posting that, you're not really the hero. The hero is the lender who's getting a great return on their money.
Yeah.
And so the audience ideally recognizes with that lender and says, how do I become a lender?
Yeah. I like that a lot. That's good. I got a couple follow-up questions for you. So, would you say you would focus on finding the deal first or finding the lender first? How should that look?
Yeah, I like to find the lender first,
Okay.
recommend finding the lender first because what you want with when you meet with a potential lender, the ideal everyday lender. They're used to the stock market, mutual funds, CDs, things like that. They're not used to lending in real estate. This is a new concept.
Okay.
So you're in essence educating them on how they can be a lender. You're also explaining your business and presenting the opportunity for them. It should be just a relaxed conversation. And it's so easy to have a relaxed conversation when you're just presenting this opportunity, this idea. If I find a house worth 150,000 and I'm offering a loan of 100,000, would you be interested? That's super low pressure. As opposed to if you come to them, I have this house under contract. I need $100,000 by the end of next week, or I
That's
can't
true.
close it,
Yeah.
right? That's suddenly
Yeah.
it's a little bit higher pressure.
Yes. Yeah.
And
You almost sound desperate, and that's going to be red flags.
for
Well, you probably
sure.
will be desperate because you'll be on a clock
It's
there to get
hard
the money.
not to
Yeah.
be desperate
Yeah.
when you're on
Yeah.
the clock.
Yeah.
And if you get that commitment from your lender on the front end and they say, yes, you find that deal, I am willing to lend 100, 150, whatever it is, you can have massive confidence going out and making offers, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times people are almost when they're making offers, their greatest fear is what if it gets accepted? Because then I
Yeah.
have to come up with the money to
Hey,
figure out how
yeah.
to buy it, right?
I will tell you, I just experienced that last night. I wrote on a six pack of houses for $1.4 million. Biggest offer I've ever
Nice.
made. And I'm like, they're
Nice.
probably not going to accept it because I'm getting a heck of a deal if they do. But if they do, holy cow. I need to talk to Chad immediately for
Yeah.
money.
We got to work on the
Yeah.
private money.
Yeah.
Sure. So
Yeah, that's good.
yes,
Yeah, I've heard this. The old saying is like, find the deal and the money will find you. And I haven't seen that laid out in practice. So I'm glad you said let's talk to the lender first and then we bring them the opportunity. I think that's good. Now, how do you typically structure this? You said 100, you found $150,000 house loan for 100,000. Does that mean you've got to come up with the 50 from somebody else, or how does that work?
no, the way we structure the deal is the private lender, our bread and butter is the private lender will fund the purchase and the rehab, often a little bit more. So say the rehab goes over or,
Yeah,
something else, there's a little bit extra money there. As long as the loan goes up to 75% of the ARV,
got it.
then your lender is happy, their loan is secured by real estate.
Awesome.
And yeah, so the lender will fund the purchase. You don't have draws on the money. They
Yeah,
fund the rehab on the front end. So you
yeah.
leave closing with the money for the rehab. If you do the rehab well and it doesn't go over budget, then you've already made a little bump of income on that front end when you buy the property.
Nice.
So, and I like to structure the loans long term, have
Okay.
access to the money long term.
Yeah.
So I learned a long time ago a couple key things. So with private lenders, they're comparing lending to us to being in the stock market,
Mm.
which is much different than the way a real estate investor looks at a loan, right?
Yes. Yeah.
We look at a loan as we'll do an amortized payment, we'll pay some principal off each month, and we usually think the lender wants their money back.
Yes.
Well, in the stock market,
You
right?
don't
When
ever get your money
somebody
back.
invests in the stock market holds the money. They don't give
Yeah.
any of that back.
Until you
And
sell. Yeah.
right until you sell. And
And if you're investing for retirement, you're never selling.
right,
Look.
you want it
Yeah.
in. As long as the return's good, you're leaving
Yeah.
the money there
Yeah. Yeah.
and you're getting these little checks from dividends, right? So, yeah, I learned through trial and error that that's what private lenders want. Right. I'll
Nice.
never forget the first time I paid off a private lender early and he was angry. I was like, what's going on here? Like, this makes no sense. He's like, well, thank you for the check. I think it was $70,000. Thank you for the check, but I liked the monthly checks better. Okay, well, I'll find you another deal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The moral of the story is you want your money always in use. And then the interest only. And I also realized I was pitching to a lender one time and I was at 10% early on when I started. And I was trying to get him down to 8 because I wanted to lower my costs. And I presented two options. This is a very sophisticated investor, president of a large company. And he said, between 10 and 8, 10 sounds risky. Let's just go with 8. And I realized in real estate, we're always trying to get the highest return we can.
Yeah.
But in the stock market, the dividend that
Ah.
companies willing to pay is a reflection of risk.
Oh,
And
wow.
so as we lower the return we offer, that lowers the risk in the mind of our lender. In
Wow.
reality, lowers our risk
Yeah.
because our payments
Yeah.
lower.
Less expenses. Yeah. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
So
Wow.
our margin's bigger. So yeah, so we did 8%, then I went to 7. 7 was good. I went to 6. 6 was good. And
Wow.
so our standard loan now is 6% interest only payments, 10-year note. And so we'll leave that in place.
That's
when you want
amazing.
to, yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
deals can cash flow at 6%
Yes,
interest
they
only.
can. Interest only
Interest
on
only,
top of it.
yeah.
Like that is huge. Yeah.
So you can, when you refinance, you can roll that money over into another property. You don't want to pay them their money back, and they don't want their money paid back. So,
That's really cool. Yeah. I just my mind is running now with like all the opportunities I maybe could have at that.
yeah,
And the other thing about the lower risk, it makes sense because we've been doing a lot of analysis on apartment buildings recently, and it's all about cap rates, right? And you get the nicest area has the lowest cap rate because it has the lowest risk. It's the most stable asset, right?
yeah,
And then
there it
you get
is.
into these rough neighborhoods, well, you get cap rates in the teens, and it's like
Yeah.
crazy high, but the risk is still there. So that makes total sense
You hit a cap
when,
rate of 15%, you're like, whoa, will I want
yeah.
to drive there?
Yeah,
Right?
is this thing gonna burn down next week? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
it's
Yeah,
like, yeah, cap rate of 4. You're like, oh, this is gonna be,
that's
very
right.
luxury apartments here.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And that's the mentality of our lenders,
yeah.
right? 6%. I don't need to worry about that's a safe investment.
That's really cool. Yeah, yeah. It's almost like, yeah, it's like them investing in a nice safe bond, and yeah, you're secure by the real estate. So you're letting them go in at 75% of what your ARV is. So there's a cushion there. So even if the market drops, let's say the market pulls an '08 and tanks, I think the average decline that year was like 8 to 10% annually. So it's like
Right.
you're still covered. Like you can survive like the biggest downturn in real estate history with a 25% margin.
Yeah.
So it's a very safe investment, I think, for everybody involved. And the amount of, I mean, just the interest only payment is cutting down your mortgage so much that
Right.
yeah,
And
like
right
you're
now,
yeah,
everybody loves the BURRR strategy,
yeah,
right? Buy the house, fix it up, rehab it, rent it, refinance, and recycle the money. But everybody's struggling right now because when I refinance, well, suddenly my payments at whatever, 8% amortized. I can't
right.
make any money.
Yeah,
So I recommend what we call a slow burr, where you're going to purchase it with 6% interest on interest only payments, and you're going to buy it at today's prices and start benefiting from appreciation, cash flowing on the low payment, and you just leave that money in place, whether it's 2 years, 3 years,
yeah,
whatever, until interest rates come down, then refinance, right? If it's 3 years down the road, you've benefited from 3 years of rent, 3 years of appreciation, and you have much less competition right now because that deal that works for us at 6% interest, interest only, doesn't work for 95% of other investors, right? They can't
yeah,
make those numbers work.
yeah. It makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that's really cool. Very good. Well, I like this a lot. I think this is going to help a lot of our people, that don't have the funds right now to go out and find these lenders. What else? What piece of advice? What else piece of advice is that you would give to our agents right now?
Yeah, I would say number one is change your thinking because I'm gonna bet that when we talk about raising money, in your mind right now, you think, but I don't want to ask people for money,
Yeah.
right? I don't
Yes.
want to ask people,
Yeah.
and
That feels awkward.
right, that's awkward, and
Yeah.
nobody likes to be asked for money. And the truth is that we're going to present an opportunity. We're never going to ask for money. We're
Mm,
going to give them the chance to get in a
yes.
real estate deal, which they want,
This is a
right?
chance. Yeah.
And it's
Opportunity.
going to be secured by real estate, and there's all kinds of benefits for them. And we're never going to ask them for money. If they don't want to do it, if it doesn't fit their investing goals, no problem. We're going to fund it with the next
Yeah.
person we talk to, right?
That's really cool.
We
Now,
move
is
on.
when it comes to soliciting this, is there any like laws you have to be aware of with the SEC or anything when you're like trying to promote this opportunity?
So yes, you can't ruffle feathers with the SEC, right?
Yes.
That's a big angry dog. We don't want to kick it. So just some basics. There are specific things, but just some what high level basics. You can't say the investment is safe or secure.
Okay.
The investment is secured by real estate,
Got it.
right? And you get consistent returns. Now, we all know it's safe, but you can't market it as that
Okay.
safe or secure.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And you can't openly market. So you can't get on Facebook and say, I have this deal under contract. I need $100,000 by the end of next week.
Got it.
So you should have a relationship with the person.
Okay. Yeah.
Now that one is super simple anyway, because it's a terrible way to raise money of
Yeah.
saying, hey, I have this house. I
Right.
need so much money by the end of next week.
Yes.
Um, that one looks desperate. Two, the focus is on us, right? I have something, I need
Yeah.
money, and the focus should always be on the lender.
Yeah.
So there's a great opportunity for
What's
you. You can be the lender in my business. When the focus
yeah,
is on them, we'll raise a lot more money. So,
very good. Yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah. So yeah, it's a
well,
relationship.
yeah, it's a relationship. And you don't need that many lenders. I should add on the SEC thing, you can't pool money as well. So we
Mixing
can't,
different funds together. Yeah.
yeah, we can't take 10,000 from 15 people
Sure.
and buy a house.
Yeah,
So,
so you really need, you're getting $100,000 loan. You need that all from the same person. So you're really trying to find somebody that has, a high net worth or decent retirement savings. Now, if they have retirement savings, do you talk to them about, hey, we can get you into a self-directed IRA, and that's how you can loan us the money? Is that something you
of
guys
course,
work with
yeah,
them? Okay.
that's a great
Yeah.
opportunity. They can't use the money anyway, right?
Right.
A lot of times with an old 401k, they don't even know what it's invested in or what the
Yeah.
return is. So
Right.
yeah, I always recommend when you're meeting with a potential lender, you don't want
Nice.
to, if you feel comfortable, you can say, "Hey, have you switched jobs? Do you have any old retirement accounts?" Okay.
Yeah.
But you can also very easily just say, "Other lenders I work with, they realized they had an old 401k and they rolled it over into self-directed IRA, had no tax consequences, and now they're getting a great return on that money, lending it in real estate, right?" And just give them an example of what they could do,
Yeah.
just in
That's good.
case they have that old 401k.
Nice. I like that. And then my last question for you. So I'm like completely allergic to accounting. I can't stand it. I'm doing my QuickBooks right now, trying to get everything tagged before tax season, and it's just brutal. So like, how is the accounting side of this of like getting these interest only payments out to them? Are you literally doing it monthly, or is it a lump sum at quarterly, yearly? How can it be can it be automated with some system where you're not thinking about it and pressing in bank account numbers and all that stuff? Uh, yeah,
Yeah, for sure. It needs to be automated. So, yeah, my personality is not the detailed accounting, like follow this
yeah,
monthly routine guy for sure. So, but I mean, super simple. Um, most banks. So we have some lenders who want that check in the mail, the ultimate mailbox money, right?
yeah.
We just put a recurring payment with the bank. The check goes out. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to
Oh,
schedule it.
nice.
It just goes.
So the bank will mail
The
a
bank
check.
will
I love
schedule
that.
it and mail a check.
I never
Yeah.
thought about that. I didn't even know they
Uh,
did that.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Super easy.
Yeah,
Or we'll have some lenders who we pay by ACH, and then the bill just pops up in our property management system. You click on the button and it sends the
nice.
digital check. So
And
super
then
easy.
do you have to send out some kind of tax thing at the end of the year?
Technically, the lender is responsible for reporting interest. So, if you have a mortgage with a bank, they'll send
Oh,
you,
that's right. They send you the
right, the
stuff.
1098 or
Yeah.
1099 INT, one of the two. And but our everyday private lenders aren't professional lenders, right? This isn't
Right.
their business. They're used to receiving, a 1099 from their brokerage.
Yes.
And so what we do and what I recommend all of my clients do is fill out that 1099 INT for them, provide it to them just like a brokerage. And at the same time, give them an update on your business, update on their investments that they have with you, because most lenders, they'll be happy with the first one and they just keep lending you more money.
Awesome.
And you end up, you look more like a brokerage, which is what we want. We want them to see the investment with us just like an investment in the stock market.
Yeah, that's really good. That's awesome, Chad. This has been really valuable, and I think it gave people the end-to-end idea. I know you got one more gift for us, the 37 places to find private lenders. Thank
37
you.
places. That's
Yeah.
right.
Tell us where to find that.
Yeah, definitely. So a lot of people that I talk to, maybe you're listening to the podcast and you say, well, that sounds great and all, but I don't know the right people, right? Nobody thinks they know the right people. In reality, those lenders are all around you right now. You just need to know where to find them and how to present to them. So yeah, if you go to truewealthinvestors.com/find lenders, free PDF, 37 places you can find lenders. You'll be amazed when you know where to look. Give that introduction that I just talked about so that they know they could be sharing the profits on your deals. You'll be able to find money all around you.
I love it. Yeah, truewealthinvestors.com/find lenders. Thank you for that gift, Chad, and thank you for the interview. It's been amazing. Really appreciate having you on here today.
Yeah, man. Thanks for the invitation. Enjoyed it.
Awesome. Thanks for listening to the show. And until next time, God bless you all, and we'll catch you on the next one.